series, we're going to talk about Detroit Become Human. And yeah, thanks for watching. It sucked. Okay, bye.
Okay, no, but let's be serious. Um, let's get into Detroit Become Human. It's a mixed bag, but it's a pretty badly mixed bag. Um, I think playing Detroit Become Human right after getting done with Until Dawn was a mistake. Now, it's the same kind of game, movie style game, literally the same exact thing. I feel like the decision making is a little different. The butterfly effect I liked a lot more, where this one was just branching paths. I would imagine the way I beat the game and like how everything played out for me can be completely different, like in a lot of ways. Like no, like I went chaos with Marcus and Connor. I was kind of like, I don't know what I want to do with them, but I like them. And then Kara was getting Canada, but sorry, that's probably really loud. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like it'd be a fun game to replay if you liked it. But I think it's kind of hard to like. And let's get into that. So, reason one, and like for Until Dawn, I actually like wrote like notes and stuff for this. No, I'm going off the cuff. I don't care. So, reason one why I think it's hard to like. It's hard to relate to. Um, from Until Dawn, it's kind of easy to put yourself in the shoes of all the characters. They're all teenagers. They're written very cringy, but it's easy to see yourself there, or to imagine these people as other people you know. Playing Detroit Become Human, it's kind of hard to sympathize with something that's not real, like synthetic human beings. And I think the thing that made it even more difficult was that it was very easy to detach. It wasn't like they were so hard to tell the difference between a human and a synthetic android. I think they're called, yeah, androids, right? It was actually really easy. They bleed blue instead of red. If you open them up a little bit, it's all mechanics. It's very hard to sympathize for it. And I will circle back to another game that has synthetic humans, being Fallout 4, and like that game has a lot of issues on its own when it comes to the story, but I feel like that sold synthetic humans way better and made you care a little bit more about synthetic humans in that game compared to this game, because you literally could not tell the difference between someone that was human and someone that was a synth, right? Because they both bled, they both had organs. The only thing that you could do to tell if someone was a synth or they weren't a synth was if you killed them and you saw they had a synth component. Other than that, everything was the same. My screen just went black, but my TV is still on. I don't know what's happening. This is all new to me. I'm going to turn my TV back on. I think it just turned off. I literally have no idea. Anyways, I'm going to keep going. I literally can't see anything. Yeah, my TV just restarted. Anyways, but yeah, I feel like that was the number one thing that kind of made it hard to care. On top of that, just seems a little bit off. It was proportionately perfect, where you got like 30 minutes or 20-minute sections with every character. 20-minute Kara, 20-minute Connor, 20-minute Marcus, 20-minute Kara, 20-minute Connor, 20-minute Marcus. Like, that was all perfect. But sometimes it felt like as soon as you were starting to get in the momentum of things, it was cut. And I think that kind of just hurt it in the end when it came to being more attached to the characters. I wasn't really attached to any of them. I liked Kara's story the best. I think it was the most relatable one, kind of like the runaway, save the child mother. And, oh, hey, there, look, my TV came back on. The runaway, save the child mother from the abusive household. It was tough. And I especially believe if you're someone that grew up, I wasn't, but if you were unfortunate enough to grow up in a broken home, I bet playing through that part was very jarring and very weighty, you know. And me, like, I have a loving family. Me playing through that felt like, oh, like this is just gross. Like it just, it felt very like a big old wet blanket, right? So I can imagine with someone that has a personal kind of tie to those emotions in their past, it would be a very, very touching, you know, section of the game, and it would really grip you. Let's get into Connor. Connor was quirky, and that's the reason I liked him. He's very quirky and just funny. However, I feel like I just never had enough time, decision-wise, to put him in a certain direction, and I would always be like pushing and pulling, annoying Hank, not annoying Hank, annoying Hank, not annoying Hank, and at the end of the game, it just chose for me because it was like I don't think you know what the fuck you're doing, so we're gonna go this way. And I honestly, there was some points where the dialogue decisions were so quick that you had to make. I couldn't read all of them and sit there and go, how do I want to go about this? Like, not at all. I just read them and go, that one. And I think that kind of hurt the game a little bit too. Now, I'm not saying I should be able to have like 2 minutes to look at it, but at least more than 15 seconds, you know. But I think if I didn't have the unfortunate pulling and pushing of Connor's story and like it went one way or the other, it would have been much better. But I liked it. I will say I liked it. Marcus's story, it was hard to like. It was very bad. I didn't like it at all. I think the pacing was terrible. Marcus was just weird, awkward. I don't know. I just couldn't. I didn't believe him in anything he said. Like the lines he said, like the voice actor, it just didn't sound believable. You know, Connor sounded like an android that was struggling with accomplishing what he had to do and fighting back emotions that he's like, whoa, I ain't no deviant, right? Like the way his lines were with dealing with all that sounded like, yeah, he's dealing with that. Same with Kara, like a naive, you know, synth that's trying to take care of this little girl, right? And through her story getting smarter and smarter and being able to kind of blend in with humans a lot more compared to a synth that just became a deviant and that's very just sticks out like a thumb. Kara by the end of the game didn't really stick out too bad as a thumb, you know, a little bit, but not like crazy. Like you saw that growth in her character, which was super sick. Marcus's just it was bad, and I went the way of like revolution, burn it all. That's very bad. That was like French to Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I wanted to go total chaos. Like, no, we're fighting, right? And there's a point where it seemed like every decision after, I think it was after the second, like, real big, like, fight, where Marcus is just kind of sitting there and he can't help but feel bad rather than, like, you know, feeling, like, determined, like, no, we're doing the right thing, or, like, you know, could feel bad or could feel like he made a mistake or could be like, no, like psychotic in his fascistic ways of revolution. But it just didn't feel right. Although it was fun, really fun to make those decisions. That's ultimately the way I went. And we freed Detroit and we captured it basically, you know. And when I had a choice to pick against fighting Marcus as Connor or fighting Connor as Marcus, I ended up picking Marcus, which does have to say something, you know. By the end of it, it was great. The last 10% of Marcus's story, amazing. The 90% to get there, I think it was honestly terrible. And his story felt very rushed as well. There was points where it's like, I remember when you have to go into the news building, right, to do your broadcast. It's like, okay, here's the plan. And then it's just done. Everything's in place. Nothing's explained. It just happened. And it just, I don't know. It seemed very loopholey. Like, what? You know, like, what's going on? Why didn't I get to do the setup? Why, you know, like, there was a lot of things that just seemed being great. But the way it was paced is 20 minutes. It made you just want to get to one person's and kind of like, who cares about this one, you know? And I think that's where the game lacked very heavily. I think from doing my first playthrough of the game, while being on YouTube and stuff like that, and you guys watching it with me, it made me really realize when Let's Play people go, I'm having a hard time finishing this game. I'm not really having fun during it. I think I'm going to cancel it. Yeah, there's a couple times where I was like, I don't want to play it, but I'm going to finish it. It's only like a 10-hour game. Yeah, I kind of felt that a little bit. I was like, wow, I don't want to, I don't even care for it, to be honest. But I'm glad I finished it. I think the last 10% of the game, amazing. Everything up until then, it seemed lacking in some ways. Beautiful game, graphics wise and everything like that. There was some stuttering errors where the frame rate would go down like crazy, which was kind of weird for me because I'm running it on PlayStation 5. It should be running perfectly. But yeah, other than that,
I think it's time for my verdict on this game.
and I think I'm gonna give it. Would I give Until Dawn? Gave it an 8.5, I think. No, an 8 3/4. I would give this a 6.25. Yeah, 6 1/4. That's what I'd give it. And if it wasn't for the end of the game, it'd be like a 3. But that's it. That's Let's Talk Detroit Become Human. Thank you guys for watching my opinion on this
Very mixed bag of a game.
and we're gonna be doing we're gonna be going back in time and we're gonna be doing Final Fantasy X next because it's my all-time favorite game, and I needed something to play that I loved after playing this game. So I can't wait to share that one with you guys. Thank you guys for watching. That's my opinion.
Until the next video.